What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy Stocks, back with our daily Apple update video where we take a look at how Apple stock traded today, some key support and resistance levels moving into the future, and based on that, what the stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that like button down below and subscribe to my channel. I do these videos on a daily basis, and comment down below if you are in Apple or what your thoughts on Apple are, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me get right into it. So as we can see, another green day for Apple, up 89 cents, 0.7%, which is great news for the stock. We know that it's been a long time coming, but Apple is finally making that run that we've all been waiting for. So that's really good news to see. Let me hit the one-day chart, and we'll kind of look at the one-day, 1-minute chart here, see what we see. So as we know, yesterday we closed kind of in the high 127s, talked about making a push towards that 186 level that we had set kind of previously yesterday, and then also in early September. And if we knock that out, then we've got that all-time high level of resistance to push towards. We saw that today, so right out of the gate. Let me put the VWAP on so we could kind of see intraday strength. What we see is we pushed up, made a high at 129.57, which knocked out yesterday's high and knocked out that early September high. Then we fell a little, found support near the low 128s, then we pushed up, broke above VWAP, and then we were below VWAP, set a low of 128.05, and then we were kind of below VWAP for most of the day, and then at the very end we made a push towards VWAP, and kind of closed above it at 128.70 after making a new not a new high, but we set another kind of mark in the 128s before kind of closing, 128.80s before closing in 128.70. That's what I meant to say. So the range today wasn't too bad, 128.05 to the 129s, 129.57, about $1.50 range, not too shabby there. Let's take a look at the daily chart, and then we'll take a look at the hourly chart and see what we see. So as we could see, great looking chart there for Apple. If I zoom in here, what we see is higher high, higher low now for 4 days in a row, which is great news for the stock. Obviously the range that it's trading in is getting a little bit smaller, but that's okay. It's expected after that huge run up, as it takes a little bit of time to consolidate and figure out what it wants to do, right? So from an upcoming price level perspective, right, obviously we've got the high of today. That's sort of the first point to shoot for in the 129.58s. Today's close price, was 128.70. So we've got that 129.58 to push for, which will take us at the highest Apple has been until this day here. So we knocked out the September 3rd high of 128.84. The other high now we have to go for is that 137.98, but that was a pretty rough day, right? We opened 137.59, closed 127, so that was a really bad red day. Beginning of this huge drop from 137s all the way to 103s, really. So it'll be interesting to see how long the stock takes before it gets there. My sort of hypothesis, if you will, is that if we can continue this slow grind up, I think that 129.58 and 130, I think 130 is going to be that mental resistance that we really have to break through. Once we break 130, I'm hoping that kind of going into earnings season next quarter, that we hopefully will see in about a month or so, if I'm not mistaken, we will see how Apple is trading or how Apple sales have been, with the iPhone. We know that this is the first time in a really long time where they didn't launch the phone in September, so those numbers of the initial launch will also be in the last quarter in October, and then we have the December holiday sales number combined. So the expectations are high, and I definitely think that we could see a run into those earnings, hopefully hitting at those all-time highs soon. So that's my assumption, assuming that the market doesn't have a huge pullback, assuming that we don't see some crazy profit taking, all that good stuff. So let's take a look at some of our indicators. From the AEMA on the daily chart perspective, we've got 125 as our first level of support. This 126.65 that we drew out yesterday is a line that I'm hoping will hold if we go down to test it once again, but we'll kind of see if we do dip a little and see a little bit of consolidation or profit taking before we head back up into the Christmas rally or into the earnings season, whatever it may be. So that's the first level of support. Then we've got some more coming down here. We've got the 21 EMA at 122.40, as well as some other EMAs down here that we don't I think really need to cover at this point. So first level of support, today's low of 128.05, then this low of yesterday, kind of the support line 126.50s, and then the AEMA I think at 125.37. I also think that 125, 126 will hold up as a mental support as well, other than kind of this EMA. So hopefully we see that hold. And then from a daily chart, what we see is, this 34 EMA acted as really good support. So also that on the hourly chart, right? So as we see every hour, it was heading up kind of against that, but finding really nice support and perfectly bouncing off of that. So, low and 21 EMA, perfectly the same, off by 5 cents, off by like 11 cents, off by a cent. So finding really good support on the 21 EMA on the hourly chart. So that's something that I'm watching, kind of moving closely as well. If it dips, same thing yesterday, found support on the 21 EMA in the hourly chart. But getting rid of this indicator, hopefully we're finding that 128 might also be a decent level of support as we came down there today and found support there. So we'll kind of see over the next couple of days if that holds. If we see a drop to 128 and we kind of see the same pattern on the hourly chart where we're bouncing off that 128 level, hopefully that 128 level is a good support for us as well. Until we'll kind of have to wait and see if we make a push up towards that 130s, or if we see a little bit of profit taking and potentially validate some of those 128, 126, 60s support that I had drawn out. But we'll kind of see how that goes. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If it is, drop that like down below, comment if you are in Apple, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.